What's going on, folks? My name is Joe, aka J to the OE. Welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It is December. It is that time of the year. And today I want to talk about a buying guide for the Nintendo Switch in the holidays of 2024. That sounded weird, but my intros suck. But before we get into any of that, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and comment down below what is the best game that you've ever gotten for Christmas. Do you have a memory, a core memory where you're like, wow, this is an amazing gift and super thoughtful and really great video game for Christmas? Like, let me know in the comment section. For me, I don't, but I tell you what. My best toy that I've ever gotten for Christmas was a 1992 in Christmas. It was the very first Christmas that we ever had in America. And I got a Rock'em Sock'em Robot game, except it was Batman Animated Series one with Batman and the Penguin. And man, I remember opening that up and just like being crazy. I loved it, and I demanded that everybody in the house play with me. And yeah, I may have broken it the first night because I was just really excited about it, but I still remember it, and it was really amazing. Anyways, so this buying guide has a few stipulations. One stipulation is that I have to own all these games physically. The second stipulation is I'm assuming you already own a Nintendo Switch. You know, this is probably the final year, hopefully, the final year that the Nintendo Switch will be the console for the Nintendo. Hopefully it'll be a Super Nintendo Switch next holiday season. That's at least what I'm trying to call it. But the great thing is you can still buy these games and they'll work for the whatever the new Switch is called. It's been confirmed that it's backwards compatible, so all these games are gonna work for them anyways. So there are three different types of switches, really two. There's the OLED switch that plugs into the TV, and it's 64 gigs of internal memory. And then there's the Switch Lite, that's 32 gigs of internal memory, and it's super small, super portable. You can have you see my review of my Switch Lite up here. Don't get the regular Switch. That one's older. That one has a smaller screen and worse battery, and so don't even worry about that. Okay, all the stipulations out the door. This is if you just got a Switch, and here are the must-buys that we're just getting out of the way. Now, the number one, well, now it's arguable, right? But the number one and number two games on the Nintendo Switch are Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda. Now, it's these two Zeldas, okay? Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is completely superior to Breath of the Wild. The reason why I put these here, this is still number one, number two, number three, but I put this here because do not play this game unless you've played this game. It makes more sense. And yeah, like this is a good thing to play first, and then you play this next. So here are your must-buys, and this is the caveat. You buy this, if you already bought this, this is it, all right? This will ruin the rest of the Switch library for you because this is a stop. It's only backwards from here. Now, if you love Mario and you love 2D, another must-buy just came out. It came out last year? Was it last year? Yeah. Super Mario Wonder. Super Mario Wonder is wonderful. Huh? But yeah, no, this is a great 2D Mario. It's nostalgic because of the 2D stuff, right? And yeah, it reminds me of Super Mario Brothers 3. I feel like this is a spiritual successor of that, and it's super great. It's great. It's super, and it's wonderful. All right, that's enough of the dad jokes here. Another game that's really great is Mario Kart 8. If you don't have it, it's the best Mario Kart ever. And if you pay for the extra courses, then it's like 96 courses all total, and so it's really fun. and it's for all age levels. My son loves playing this game. I got it on autopilot essentially until he learns how to turn, and yeah, this is great for that. And the 2 more must-buys is Splatoon 3. If you are into like competitive shooters, but not really shooters, like this is super fun. It's only online, so you definitely need an online membership, but it's a fun, quick game to play, especially if you don't have time. And also Kirby and Forgotten Land. Kirby and Forgotten Land is phenomenal. It's fun. Kirby is the most overpowered character in the Nintendo universe, and yeah, this is a great 3D Kirby. And really good, especially after you play Mario and you kind of still want some of that. This is great for it. Alright, the next, I'm going to try to break it in categories, okay? I'm a little bit quirky with my stuff, and so some of it is going to be a lot. And I tried not to repeat. I did this 2 years ago. 2022, I did a buying guide, and I was trying not to repeat. And I kind of watched some of it, and yeah, I repeated some, but you know what? We'll do my best, okay? So the next line is Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias are basically like action platformers that go side to side, and in order to progress, you have to get certain powers and power up as you go. Like you'll hit a roadblock and you literally can't go anywhere until you find the power that takes you there. Like a rope. Oh, I need a rope ladder, and you'll do one of those. But yeah, these are the best Metroidvanias that I have. Now, this is great. Metroid, because it's named after it. This is a great Metroidvania, Metroid Dread. It's really fun. I gotta go through these quick because it's a lot. So Metroid Dread is a great Metroidvania. Dead Cells, Castlevania. If you get this, make sure you get the Dead Cells and Castlevania collection, because this is the full game with all the DLC. Disney's Illusion Island. What's cool about this is that it's 4 players, and yeah, and if you're into Disney, this is really, really fun. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Ori and the Blind Forest, really great Metroidvanias. Either one is great. The art is really cool. The art is super amazing. Animal Well just came out this year. It's hard for me to describe what this is about without ruining it for you, but this is a great side-scrolling Metroidvania. And Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This was recently on sale for $15-20, and so this is going down really well. But this was a great Prince of Persia title that didn't really sell well. But man, this is great. Good boss battles, really great puzzles and maps and stuff. And so yeah, boom, Prince of Persia. The next one I want to talk about are puzzle games. Some of them, they're pretty simple, but it's really fun to just kind of get your brain going. The first puzzle game, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, super simple puzzles, but especially if you're into, this was a remake of the first Mario vs. Donkey Kong in Game Boy Advance. It's really good art, really fun, and yeah, really, I like it because it's simple, honestly. I'm not trying to rack my brain too hard. Another simple game, but really good, is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. You play as Captain Toad, and you find his treasure. What's cool about this is that it's 2 players as well. Same thing with Mario vs. Donkey Kong, another 2-player game. And another 2-player game puzzle is Battle Chef Brigade. It's a kind of side-scrolling adventure with some cooking puzzles mixed in, and you can play 2 players and you can play against each other. So these are my favorite puzzle games that I own on the Nintendo Switch. The next game I'm going to talk about are JRPGs that are turn-based. Now, the Nintendo Switch is like a JRPG machine. There's a ton of them, and these are my top 3 favorites. Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of Elusive Age. It's a great JRPG, turn-based RPG, and yeah, you basically play as the hero. It's very tropey, but it's amazing. It's long. All these games that I'm going to talk about are probably upwards to 40 to 90 hours, you know. Octopath Traveler 2. You don't have to have played Octopath Traveler 1 to understand Octopath Traveler 2, but I recommend this over the first one because everything that I didn't like about Octopath Traveler 1, they fix for Octopath Traveler 2. And so, really, really great turn-based JRPG. And lastly, the best turn-based JRPG I've ever played, Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal, you're in high school. It's anime kind of thing, and it's really good. Really good, really good. The next set of games I'm going to talk about are first-person perspectives. I can't call them shooters because only one of them you really shoot. So, but these are my favorite first-person perspective games. And this is the one where you shoot in. It's Metroid Prime Remastered. Really great. This is a remaster from the GameCube Metroid, and a really good Metroid. And especially if you're looking forward to Metroid Prime 4, you probably should play this beforehand. The next one is a great, it's going to be on my top 10 list of games that I played this year. Kingdom Come Deliverance. You play as like a blacksmith's son, and the immersion is amazing. You have to train for everything, learn how to read, learn how to fight, and yeah, it's a really, really fun RPG, but on a first-person perspective. And if you are an Alien fan, Alien Isolation is a great first-person. This is a first-person horror game, essentially. You're trying to escape a ship with an alien on it. And if you've seen the movies, you know how scary that can be. And, man, there's a lot of jump scares. There's a lot of all of that. And it's really fun, honestly, especially if you are an Alien fanatic. It is hard because, I mean, if you look at the movies, you're going up against an alien and you're just a wee tiny human. So, it's not a good look, but it is super, super fun. Now, if you're the type of gamer who really likes chess, who likes strategy, these are my favorite strategy RPGs. First ones are the Fire Emblem games. The battle mechanic in Fire Emblem Engage is super, super fun. However, I enjoyed the story way more in Fire Emblem Three Houses. So it all depends on what you like. If you like gameplay more, go to Engage. If you like story, Three Houses. That's it. But I would pick Three Houses any day on top of these two, just because I really, really enjoyed the story. Into the Breach is a great kind of bite-sized strategy RPG. You control mechs, and it's like a kaiju thing, and kaijus come and you have to control mechs and other vehicles to beat the kaiju. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. This is great. You know, this is what I like about this is up to 4 players. You can actually play each other and like 1v1 each other in Advance Wars. And so if you're in a family, a household that loves strategy RPGs, then Advance Wars 1 and 2 is up your alley. If you like a little bit more reading, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim is a great strategy RPG. You play as high school students and kaiju comes and you get to control mechs and control robots to fight them. My game of the year is Unicorn Overlord. This is my favorite game that I played this year. And yeah, this is a strategy RPG in a fantasy world with like elves and minotaurs and all of that. And it's super great. There's over like 60 characters, and honestly, I love the story here. I care about each and every character. Usually, I just get bored with it. But this one, I cared about each and every character here, and so I love this game. Now we're gonna talk about cozy games. Now I don't have this in physical. Cozy is like if you just want to rest. If you know, in the hustle bustle of life, you need to de-stress, and so it's just 3 games that I really enjoyed in order to de-stress. One is Stardew Valley. I don't have the physical of that, so I'm kind of breaking my own rule, but that is the quintessential cozy game. Stardew Valley, you're living, and it starts like a Hallmark movie where you're a big city boy or girl, and your grandfather dies and leaves you this estate, and you have to raise the farm life there, and you get to town and meet a bunch of people and get married if you want to, have kids and manage the town, and yeah, it's really fun. Another good cozy game is Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer is, man, it's a management sim where you're kind of managing this boat and you're managing the people, and you play as a spirit guide that you're helping people pass on. So it's really introspective, kind of fulfilling their last wishes, and yeah, it's really fun. and then really good. It just makes, it's one of those games that makes you go, and not in like an introspective way, but in like a way. Anyways, and my next favorite cozy game here is unpacking. Unpacking literally is you're unpacking boxes, but it's hard. It's a hard sell, but I gotta tell you, it's super fun. And especially if you're a collector, these things it's a limited run game, and yeah, it's kind of harder to come by here now. And so, cozy game, collector, unpacking is the way to go. Now, if you prefer third-person action RPG, then I got the games for you. Of course, you need the Bayonetta series. 3 is the best only because the other 2 feel older now. But yeah, 3 is you play a witch and you're killing demons and angels and all of that. And I mean, I don't care about the story. The gameplay is just really, really great. Nier Automata is also a great action RPG, third person. This game, the story kind of makes you question reality, and that's what I love about it. There's a few different endings that just keep going, and it doesn't feel like it wears out its welcome, and so it's really fun. Nier Automata, a great action RPG. And the last one, I know I mentioned it before, but you gotta get it. This is, I don't like to play the speculation game, but this didn't get a lot of reprints. So Astral Chain is a great action RPG. Made by the people who made Bayonetta. You are chained to a robot, and yeah, action ensues. So Astral Chain, really, really fun action RPG. The next sets of games we're going to talk about is people with a family or people who love having people over. And these games, there's going to be one that you play together, and there's going to be another set that you play against each other. So we're going to start with the games that you play against each other, but are really, really fun for parties or big groups. Clubhouse games, there's, 51 different games here you can play against each other. It's really simple, really cool. What's great about this too is if you have another Switch, all you need is one copy, and you could essentially use it as a guest pass and they could play with you. Big Brain Academy is another competing game where you basically test each other's logic. And what's cool about this is it's great for all ages because you can have different levels. So if you have like a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, I just picked something in the middle, you could all make this kind of up to their level here. So Big Brain Academy, and they can learn some stuff. So, if you ever tried those educational games, I guess this is really good for you. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This has the greatest fighting game ever made, at least I think, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And what's cool about this first one, I haven't opened it yet, just because I haven't gotten around to it, but this first edition has a little comic inside, and so that's really cool. And that's why I bought it now, even though I wasn't ready to play it. But what's great about this too is if you really want to play together, there's a game called The Punisher here, and you can play as Nick Fury and The Punisher. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and you can finally play as a team. So, but other than that, this is a great competition game. The Mario parties are amazing competition games. You got Mario Party Superstars, you got Super Mario Party, and you got the most brand new one, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I think this is the best one, only because it's the newest one, and they really worked out all the kinks of the other ones. But any of these will do, especially if you haven't played them. And yeah, but Super Mario Party Jamboree is super, super fun, and we're having a really great time. And I love with this one that you can play online as well. And the quintessential competitive fighting game for the Nintendo Switch is Super Smash Brothers. I actually just had a party here the other day, and man, all of us were playing that. From my son, who's barely 4, who's not 4 yet, but he's almost 4, to adults in their early 40s. We were all playing there, and yeah, we were all having a blast. And so what I love about this is up to 8 players, and yeah, this is one of the few, because most games are really up to 4 players, if that. But yeah, I love this because 8 people could really play at the same time. So if you are having trouble keeping the peace in the household, and man, you guys need to learn to work together, then these are the games that are great for cooperative play. The first game I got on the pile is Burger Time Party. Burger Time Party is you build burgers and you stay away from little monsters. but this is basically a remake of the arcade game, and what's cool about this is you can be up to 4 players and you can team up against the computer, so you either all win or you all lose, which I think is great. And actually that's the whole theme about this whole pile here. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe is great. Up to 4 players again. Everybody could be a Kirby, or you can play as Meta Knight, King Dedede, and the Waddle Dee? Yeah. But why would you want to play as any of that when everybody could be Kirby? And so me and my son actually love this game. He plays as yellow Kirby, I play as the pink Kirby. And yeah, that's a great co-op game. Snipper Clips Plus is a quirky puzzle game. It's up to 4 players, but only certain games are up to 4 players. It's really a 2-player game. And yeah, so if you have more than 2 kids, I don't know about this one, but if it's a couple, man, this is a great game for it. Speaking of couples, It Takes Two is the best 2-player game I've ever played. Like, I love it. You guys need each other. It has a sweet story. The only thing I really hate about this game is the elephant scene. If you know, you know. But It Takes Two is a really great game, especially for couples. Beat 'em up games. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a great beat 'em up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection, another great beat 'em up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Can you sense a pattern here? A really, really great beat 'em up. What I like about Shredder's Revenge is that it's up to 6 players, and so you get a really nice party going with up to 6 players there. And another, this is not really a beat 'em up, I guess, but Broforce is up to 4 players. What's cool about this, especially, I think you'll appreciate this more if you're like an 80s, 90s kid, because this has like a parody of all the 80s action stars and the 90s action stars, and so I think you'd have a really, really fun time with this. Yeah, it's kind of like Contra in that side-scrolling action type game, but it's super fun to play with other people, especially if you're like really into those characters. The Trine series, Trine 1 through 4, and 5. So any of these games here, it's only up to 3 players, but except for Trine 5, which is up to 4 players. I have to check because I've only played Trine 1 through 4 for now with friends. But yeah, Trine 5 is up to 4 players. What's cool about this is it's basically a puzzle game. And it's a side-scrolling puzzle game, and each character has different powers. And so you guys will need to work together to kind of go through the level. A great cooking game is Played Up. Played Up is a roguelite cooking game. And the only thing about this is that it's up to 4 players, but the 4 of you really need to know what you're doing. Like, yeah, I play this both with people who like game regularly and people who don't really game casually, and the casual gamers didn't like this as much. It got a little too crazy, the mechanics and stuff, but the gamers really love this game. So Played up to 4 players. I forgot another beat 'em up, Castle Crashers. Don't get the physical unless you can get them straight from Behemoth, which is the developer. I say that because the physicals on eBay is insane. I don't know why it's so expensive, but Castle Crashers is a really fun game, up to 4 players. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, really great, especially if you love Marvel characters. And the last game, super quirky, up to 4 players, is Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. You rescue a bunch of bunnies, and you guys control a ship that's going through the world, and you know, some of it is navigation, some of it is shields, some of it is different guns depending on where you are sitting, and it's a really, really great team game. It's actually a really fun team building game too, but this is a really, really fun game to work together in. Alright, that's enough with the kids stuff. What about the adults? What if I don't got no kids? What if I want some mature titles in Nintendo Switch? Now, actually, Nintendo used to be like the baby company. And I worked at Game Crazy, and we actually, man, when I was younger, we were actually like, no, that's the baby console, even though the GameCube has stood up the test of time the most. But if you're looking for a little bit more mature games, here is for you. If you like anime, and if you like Attack on Titan Final Battle is a great game for adults. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty violent, and it's anime as well. But I really, really like it because I'm really into Attack on Titan. So that's one. Another one is The Witcher. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Amazing game. These are one of my favorite games on the Switch. Maybe top 5, easily top 10 game on the Switch. I'm still really surprised that they ported this and all 16 DLCs on this little disc here, but it's really, really great, especially if you haven't played it before. Third person action RPG. You're playing as Geralt of Rivia and you hunt monsters. And yeah, the mechanics are really complicated and it's really fun. Metal Gear Solid Collection. Now, this comes with a caveat. Buy this only if you don't have a PS5 or Xbox, because those are better versions. And the reason why I say those are better versions is because this has the cart, but you download Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3. You know, the only thing on the cart is like the Game Boy one or the Nintendo one, the NES one. And so you still have to download all these. And so it's not really on the cart. But if you're really into Metal Gear, if you remember that I beat 1 and 2 on the Switch here, and I don't know if I want to play the third because Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out, and yeah, I might just wait for that. But it's still a really, really great experience, especially if you don't have the option to play on the other systems. Trek to Yomi. Trek to Yomi is a side-scrolling action game where you play as a samurai. It's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima. Again, it's super violent, blood and gore and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let my kid play this, but it's still a really good game. Danganronpa Decadence is a visual novel, so if you're really into reading with adult themes, this is it right here. It's basically like Saw. You know, you're stuck in a high school, kids are dying, and you need to figure out who done it. And so that's a really cool mystery game here. Pentiment. Pentiment is quirky. You play kind of as a Renaissance painter, Renaissance artist, and it's a mystery. Things happen. I'm trying not to give it away, but I gotta tell you, this is a great game. Trust me on this. If you like, there's a lot of reading, but if you like historical fiction, especially if you like the Renaissance age, get Pentiment. It's really good. And this one is not rated mature. I only put it in for the old folks because it's really hard, and I don't know if the kids will get frustrated, but it's one of the best side-scrolling platformers I've ever played. It's Celeste. I'm glad I found a physical on this, even though I already have it on digital. But that's how much I love it, because yeah, I wanted a physical because of it. So Celeste, a really great side-scrolling platformer. Super hard, like super tough, but really great, and good gameplay and great story as well. Now, I do have a full-time career, and I have a toddler and a very, very busy life. So this next section, my friend actually was like, make sure you have this section for this time, is the I'm too busy to play games section. Okay. Now the first game, I don't even have it on physical because I play it somewhere else on Xbox, is sports games. Sports games are great 20 minutes, 15-minute games where you can play a game and get out. You know, that's really good. But here's the stuff from the Switch. Shifu is a roguelite, and so you are avenging the death of your Shifu and doing a lot of great, crazy, cool martial arts stuff. This is a little bit difficult, but you know, it's easy to just pick up and put down. And so each level will probably take you about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how good you are. But this is great to play on short bursts. Another great game to play on short bursts is My Friend Pedro. This is a super violent side-scrolling shooting game. Shooter? Do you call this shmup? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, there's a lot of like drug references and violence and language, and it's super fun. And so, and it's also really, really, it's trippy, and it's also just really weird. And so it's really quirky. There's a talking banana. And yeah, My Friend Pedro, really, really fun game. Cult of the Lamb is another roguelite It's cool because you can... roguelites is you go in and you're expected to die pretty quickly, and so you come back and power up and then go back again. But what's cool about Cult of the Lamb is you run a cult between all those levels, and it's really fun. Like it's hard for me to describe a little bit more without ruining more of the story. But Cult of the Lamb, another great thing to play in bite-sized chunks. Balatro, Game of the Year contender. I can see why. You know, this is, if you're really into poker, if you're into Texas Hold'em, if you're still playing rounders and all of that, like, this is a great game for it. This is a roguelite poker game, and I can't put this down. I found this, I'm an Apple guy, and I realized that this is also an Apple Arcade, and it's very dangerous that I now also have this on my phone. And yeah, but Balatro, a really, really great roguelite card game. And Dredge. Dredge is a fishing game, but what's cool about it is as a day and night cycle, it's probably only like 5 to 8 minutes. I'm sure there's an actual time for it. But yeah, this is an amazing fishing game. It's creepy, and it's meant to be played actually in short bursts. So really great. So those are the games. If you are super busy, then that's it. Now, lastly, for the gamer who has everything and really like, man, I wonder if more than likely they probably don't have this game. So hopefully, you know. And so the first, we're gonna top it off first with Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer. This is like a this is a 2D Zelda rhythm game, and it's really fun, really quirky. But if the dude or dudette is really into Zelda and rhythm games, this is really fun. Or just really wants to try something different. I think all three of these games are pretty different in retrospect. So, Dave the Diver is a fishing restaurateur game. Really fun. So many different mechanics and really quirky again. I don't know if they have this, and I definitely don't think they have this for the gamer who has everything. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This game is super trippy. Yeah, one of the taglines is, you know, you will play this game and this game will play you. And yeah, and it's weird. This reminds me, if you remember in the very, very first Metal Gear, when you had to fight Psycho Mantis and he was like reading your save files and like, put the controller down, watch me move it, and he moves it and stuff, and he was like reading your gaming habits and basically got into your head. That reminds me of this whole game. And yeah, it gets into your head and it's just really trippy. It talks to you while you're doing stuff, and really fun. Also good and playing in short bursts as well. So, Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. That's it. That's a lot. I know. It's overwhelming. But you know what? You cannot go wrong with an eShop card. You cannot go wrong with a GameStop gift card. Like, even though it's less personal, get them a card and write them something nice. Do that and give them a gift card. Like, that's okay. But really, it's honestly just nice that you were even thought of for a present. Like, it's okay. I have been given presents of games that I already own. And, I mean, I'm a collector. I have a ton of games. And I love it. You know, what I do is I sell the one copy that I already own, and I keep the copy that was given to me because that has more sentimental value because I was thought of, you know, and that's really nice. And so don't stress out in like buying these games or trying to pick out a game that's like the game for them, because I guarantee they'll probably play another game in a few months, if not 1 month or a few weeks. But it's still a really, really great experience to have all these games, and hopefully you guys can find a game that even you like. You can give yourself your own present. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you later, or I'll see you another time.